Today we got a special episode, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. Not gonna lie. Hold on. Cut my mic on. We got a special episode today. I'm not gonna lie about it. Yes, the audio should sound good. The vibes are good for tonight. On tonight's episode, we got something special going on for y'all. And they had intercourse with uh with the women of this planet and with the animals of this planet, and they created the Nephilim and so on. And then these fallen angels also became the gods of all these religions. So I think it's going to be a really interesting. I appreciate y'all all being here. Make sure y'all like, comment, share, subscribe, tap that like button, and sit back and relax on this Sunday night special. Because we are the biggest, and you're in the right place. By the way, I'm glad that you could come. I'm glad that you could come. We're waiting on the expert to get here to start talking about these topics. So let me make sure that I ain't missing nothing, that he ain't trying to live tweaking, or it's just me. All right, make sure y'all can hear me. How my audio coming through? Can y'all hear me? Before I get too deep in it, you know, the mic be tweaking and stuff sometimes. It used to be I used to say this was FVG Butterfault. But I ain't stunting that nigga no more. He just a hater. That's why that nigga, you feel me? I don't you know, uh that's the last time I'm gonna say his name. Unless I see some other shit going on. You know? Okay. Yeah, I dig the vibes too, bro. This is different, but it's necessary. You know what I'm saying? Um, I don't know where our expert is. Maybe he had a change of heart. Whatever the case may be, we're gonna have a good show here today. While we're waiting on our expert to get here, hold on. Maybe he said something. Hold on. Hold on. What up with it, dog? While we waiting on, have y'all been seeing what's going on here lately? It's a lot of stuff going on here lately. Just real quick, Trump is trying to rally his base, because he's losing favor with the silent white majority. So Trump is trying to he's trying to rally his base by attacking the killing of Christians and other in foreign nations. And hey, that's pretty cool. It's pretty interesting. I don't condemn. I mean, I don't condone the killing of any people, basis particularly based on their religion and stuff like that. But I would hope and I would wish that he would say something too about what's going on in Sudan as well, as many people are being hung and killed. It's kind of like a genocide going on in Sudan. I kind of just learned about this as well. But it's cool to know that he's condemning the killing of Christians. But again, does Trump care about anything about Christians? No, he don't, because he himself is kind of like if anything, he's more leaning on the atheist side. But he has to rally his base. So that's kind of what's going on with Trump right now. That's kind of what's going on with Trump right now. Hold on, y'all. Let me see where our expert at. Make sure he ain't back out or some. Hold on, y'all. Give me 1 second. We going hard. We're almost at 30 episodes, y'all. I want to thank y'all to keep showing up. Our time, energy, and attention. I appreciate y'all being here because we are the new vibration. We are the new world. The new world order is not necessarily a bad thing. It don't have to be a bad thing. The new world order is you and me. The new world order is a rapture and a change of thought and perception. So, with all that being said, I appreciate you being here. I certainly, certainly, certainly do. I do. I promise I do. I promise I do. But how y'all feeling tonight? How y'all doing? I'm just making sure I'm just making sure I'm not missing out on anything. I don't know where to begin. While we waiting on him, I just been seeing a lot of different things. Like for example, y'all notice that see I be paying attention to everything. Noticing that the wife of the slain far right political speaker Charlie Kirk, his wife, have y'all been noticing her lately? For somebody that's a widow, for somebody who watched their husband be slain on national TV or just in public, period, doing what he loves to do, speak out against anything that isn't white. You know, she's kind of like doing really well for herself. And not to say that she shouldn't be trying to, what's the word I'm looking for? Support herself. And I'm just saying she kind of like, she doesn't seem to be all that distraught, you know? She seems to be more like she knew exactly what was going to happen to him. That should be a whole entire video in itself. I kind of like don't want to do stuff that's played out. You know what I mean? But I just been noticing the way she's been moving and acting has been really comfortable. You know what I mean? Real comfortable. real comfortable. And other than that, in other news, you got Ja Morant has been suspended, uh, honored to such as this, my brother. We came back to this planet at a specific time for a specific reason, to be here. So I appreciate you being here, dog. Let me see. I feel like I'm seeing bro trying to get in, but it's like I'm feeling like I'm not seeing it at the same time. But anyways, have y'all? I'm just thinking about different stuff before we get to the topics at hand. Um, John Morant, he got suspended for one game, NBA game, because he don't give a damn about rules, and he want to be a YN and all that. I don't care nothing about the NBA, and it's all a distraction. But hey, I don't understand somebody who gets all this money and just don't give a fuck about nothing. That's kind of like beyond me too. So it's kind of interesting too. That's kind of interesting too. But hold on, y'all, because this shit about to zone me out. Hold on. Is she not part of the witch coven? Before he got murdered, and then just look at her eyes too. She has no humanity in her eyes. These far right people, they kind of all look alike, and it's kind of the difference between the shit. But that's what we're talking about. I'm talking to somebody who is an expert on the shit. You know what I mean? Because you know how I do, y'all. I ain't gonna act like I know something that I don't. But we gonna get somebody who is an expert on the topic, so we make sure we know what we talking about. Yeah, that's what we gonna do. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right, there we go, man. Flip your camera the other way.
Flip the
You sideways.
yeah. All right, hold up. There we go.
All right, I can't see you yet. Can you see me? You frozen on my screen right now.
Really? I can
I
see
get
you.
this. Okay. Yeah, you still look frozen on my side. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Mm, yeah, you
Am I frozen?
you just yeah, you just a face on my. I don't know, chat. Hey, chat. Can y'all see him, or is it just me? Because on my screen he looked frozen. He looked sideways and stuck. So can y'all see him? Can y'all
Am
see
I,
him? Let me
am I
know.
still
Hey,
frozen?
Siggy, man. Hold on. I'm asking the checks. Can y'all see him? Siggy, comment something that actually means something. Siggy, can you see him, or is he look sideways and frozen?
He says I see
I
him,
see
bro.
him, bro. All right. Yeah, they can see you. Shit, I can't. Shit, it don't matter as long as they can see you. Shit. Maybe when I watch the playback or whatever, I'll be able to see you. But anyways, I appreciate you being here, man. We got a special episode tonight of this show. For those of us, well, my audience may or may not know you from your other video. This is the same gentleman that's in my Halloween special, talking about vampires and demon babies and drinking blood. But for those of us that don't remember you, can you reintroduce yourself to us, please?
Yes, I'm Hunter Salazar. I have a spiritual YouTube channel at Hunter Salazar on YouTube. I'm a shamanic practitioner. I'm also a Shakta, which is a kind of Hindu. And I've been practicing magic and I've been delving into the occult, but also spirituality in general for at least 12 years. So I kind of I have dived into many paths in the past. Recently, I've just been going along with my worship of Ma Kali and working with her and working for her. I'm a devotee of her for about 12 years as well. But yeah, that's kind of my spiritual path right now. And but I've gone through many different kinds of lanes in the past. But yeah, that's kind of who I am.
That's pretty dope right there. But this is about to piss me off, bro. He said y'all good, but I can't. It don't look good to me, y'all. So hold on, I'm gonna click. Just give me 1 second, y'all. I'm gonna click out real quick. All right. So for some reason, so for some reason, your thing is still looking crazy to me, dude. That's good. Okay. So can you still hear me, bro? Because I
Yeah,
can't. You on your screen frozen to me, so I don't know if you still with.
I'm with you. I'm still here.
With him I've worked with him on some stuff. I kind of am. I'm kind of am pre-exposed to a little bit of what the Kali is and what the heck it is. Who is Kali? What it is, and what.
Oh, have we not gone into this before? No, we can
No.
again. We
That
can
video.
again. But yeah, so mainly I'm a devotee of Kali. Think of Kali as a goddess, but a goddess that encompasses both sides of duality. So in Christian or Abrahamic religions, mostly anything out of the Middle East, you have light versus dark, or good versus evil, or this is Satan, this is God. Kali is both God and you could say Satan at the same time. So it's a non-dual tradition. Shakta is a part of a non-dual tradition, like many Hindus, where there is not a duality. There is a unification of all things. It's just realizing that unification that we have to work on. Kali is depicted in very, very symbolic ways. She has a necklace of skulls around her neck, which symbolize both the killing of demons, but also the different letters of the Sanskrit alphabet, but also negative thoughts that her devotees offered up to her rather than thinking, rather than continuing with. I can go on, but Kali in general is a goddess, a Hindu goddess, and she is a goddess of liberation, enlightenment, and renunciation of material desire, and unification of all things.
Whoa. Okay. Y'all still you still with you familiar with the emerald tablet? All right, so they just ask. So apparently they can see you, but this shit I can't, bro. Like you still look sideways and you just frozen to me. Um yeah, we definitely talked about that. I don't think I posted that on my channel though. So that's pretty cool. So I'm gonna just so for me, when I hear about Kali or I hear about any stuff like that, all I immediately think about is the fallen angels. And I think of Kali as being one of the fallen angels that became the god of this world.
That's
Are you
just what the
familiar with
colonizers want you to believe.
the colonizers?
Yeah. So if you're looking at your King James Bible, that was composed and edited by the colonizers. All the European nations that forced their doctrine onto tribes, onto other clans, onto other people, they had a very black and white way of looking at things. Anything that wasn't Christian was deemed evil, so you could do whatever evil you want to do to indigenous population, and because they're going to burn forever anyway. So why not be able to do whatever you want to them? And if they don't convert and you torture them and try to make them convert and they still don't convert, then you just send them to hell and kill them. So that's definitely what the colonizers want you to believe. And Kali, you could say, is one of the gods or goddesses that was shoved into the corner where it's like, okay, it's a fallen angel or it's a Nephilim or something like that. But this is all designed. There's a reason why Christianity is the biggest religion in the world. It's because it was designed to indoctrinate. So I view that as indoctrination rather than actual spiritual truth.
Indoctrination, spiritual truth. Okay. Heard you. Uh, heard you. I got my own, preconceptions about it. But yeah, I do believe that a lot of my probably my notions about this stuff comes from a colonized mindset. But I was also taught to only have one. So is Kali like the god of gods, or is Kali like what is so? Just to make sure I understand, is Kali like the one true God, like the Most High?
So in Hinduism, we usually think of different gods as different faces for the
Uh oh,
source.
did we lose you?
And they're different outlets and mechanisms that you access the Godhead through. Some people might be drawn to Kali, but if they're not, that's okay because there's plenty of other gods you can access the source through, that you can worship the source through. But it's not necessary. So for me, Kali is source, is the Godhead, is Brahman, the supreme reality. But I do not reject other people's idea about what God is, or the personhood of God. It's just we're more of like an inclusive tradition rather than an exclusive tradition, which means that we recognize other paths as just as valid as our own, which is a very shamanic way of looking at things.
Right on. Hey, bro, this is too trippy for me as far as the connection. Can you try logging in? I mean, logging out and coming right back in. Maybe
Yeah,
that'll work.
I'll come back. I'll give it a shot.
All right, cool. Yeah, that was way too trippy for me. It's like it was doing it on purpose or something. Hey, what's up with it, man? He is straight on here. Only one true God, the creator of earth. Hey, man, I'm more of a I'm included with you. However, I do know that there's a divine masculine and a divine feminine. So, when I hear a name like Kali and stuff like that, I kind of like am interested. So we're here to learn though. That's what we're here to do. That is what we're here to do. Come on, man.
See me?
Nope. Your screen is black.
Let me see if it's something. I don't think it's on my end,
It seemed
but
like, yeah, what I'm getting like, cause your feedback is kind of slow too. It's almost like a bad connection or something. I got all the Wi-Fi bars, so I know it's not me.
let me check something real quick.
All right.
Yeah,
That
yeah. My Wi-Fi is good on this end as well. I got all the little things around the Wi-Fi symbol.
the thing is, I can hear you way better now. Now I just can't see you. This is interesting.
Well, if you can hear me, then that's okay. Oh, somebody said only one true God and creator of heaven and earth. Yeah, they're probably a colonized Christian.
Hey, it's nothing. Again, what I like doing here. I'm not here to do to what's the word, to take away from what you believe in, but also, I got to stand on what I believe in too. So I guess that'll be left for the reader or the listener to digest for themselves.
Mhm.
However, this is Krishna and Vishnu the same person?
Yeah. So for Shaktas or worshippers of Kali, there's all kinds of Shaktas. It's just basically goddess worship. That's what Shakta means. And in that you get a recognition of nature as also being divine rather than it being something that's fallen or corrupted. But so all avatars, including Jesus Christ, Krishna, the Siddhartha Gautama, the historical Buddha, and all other avatars are an extension of Kali, and she's leading us back home, basically. But yes, Krishna is usually understood as being an avatar of Vishnu, whereas Shaktas believe that all avatars are avatars of Kali, or the goddess or the divine or Devi. But yeah, so usually most Hindus believe that Krishna is an avatar of Vishnu, and Vishnu is the Hindu god of preservation, and basically the Hindu god of preservation.
Bro, it's so trippy, bro. It's so trippy. It's intentionally like messing up or something, bro. Like it's so trippy.
I see you
I'm gonna
just
still I'm
fine.
gonna try to go as much as I can, but if I keep needing you to repeat or whatever,
Mm, gotcha.
yeah, it's crazy. Like, if you can see, because like now I can see your face, like you're right, but like sometimes like your feedback will come in straight, sometimes it'll come in choppy. I'll catch the third word you said or something like that. So
Oh,
yeah, I might just throughout this, it may repeat itself, but please humor me.
mhm, gotcha.
They said the live was tweaking before he joined, so it's not his fault. It's my fault. Is that what y'all trying to tell me? Um, chat because again, to be in the quality suck and we kind of wasted both of our time. So I want to know, chat, how it sounded. How is it sounding, chat?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you right now. I just heard that. Your face is stuck though, but I can hear you. Hold on. I just need one of y'all to comment. How we sounding right now, chat? How we sounding? How we looking? Before we keep going, I want to get it right. 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 Come on, y'all. How we?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I can see and hear you.
Like maybe it's hmm, maybe it's some of mine. I don't know. Um, Anyways, you said something that was pretty interesting to me just now. I think you said it before, but I didn't. Maybe I didn't. It didn't register. So, from what you understand about what you study, what you practice, Kali, or it's an avatar. It's a godhead, and Kali has came in many different bodily forms, including what we consider, what we know as Yahashua or Jesus Christ.
Correct.
That's
Correct.
very, very interesting. I've never heard that before. I've never ever heard. So, and then I didn't hear your direct answer, or I didn't hear your answer because the feedback kept cutting in and out when I asked you, is Vishnu and Krishna the same person or same deity?
So, to most Hindus, yes, but for worshippers who are Shaktas or worshippers of Kali, usually Krishna is considered an avatar of Kali. But for most Hindus, Krishna is an avatar of Vishnu.
When I was kind of researching these topics that you gave me, I was looking at Krishna and Vishnu, and they kind of look like the same thing to me. What's the difference between them?
So it's almost like if you think of in Christianity how Jesus Christ is God on earth, it's almost like Krishna is Vishnu on earth. But you gotta think of it as so Hindu gods. Once again, they are different faces for the one source. Some people might want to call that source Vishnu. Some people might want to call that source Shiva. Some people might want to call that source Kali. But for most Hindus, we realize that we're all talking about the same thing, and we tend to not um, basically tie everything up in a bundle and say only our way is correct. It tends to be once again an inclusive tradition rather than an exclusive tradition. Exclusive traditions believe that only my way, only my understanding, only my God is right. That's what exclusive traditions and religions are. Inclusive is when you say, okay, this is the way that I look at things, but it doesn't have to be the way that everybody else does, and they can be equally right as I am, in essence. But in the Abrahamic traditions, usually you'll have the exclusive. So only Muslims believe that they're right. Only Christians believe that they're right. Only Jews believe that they're right. But that's very much a product of both Zoroastrianism, but also just Middle Eastern patriarchal traditions. You don't find that outside. Well, you do find it in some places, but generally out of the Middle East, you'll find that exclusive religion. Everybody else is bad. Only I'm right. That kind of thing. And that's what we're kind of used to with us being a quote unquote Christian nation in the United States.
Man, I know that answer was dope. I heard about a third of it. Huh. Man, this is gonna be this is gonna be an interesting show. So I'm gonna take that answer because apparently my audience can hear you just fine. So as long as they can hear you fine, I'll be able to watch this back and I'll have all the answers. So that's pretty cool. Um, so is
Kali is traditionally shown as being black, and I believe that she's black. So I worship God in the form of a black woman, ironically. But usually you'll have people wanting to worship God in the way that they look. I've never had that predilection. But for Kali, definitely black, black female. For she's often depicted as being blue as well. Usually blue represents a causal nature to them, that they're the cause of things rather than anything causing them. So blue is very much associated with causation and them being like Krishna was black as well, but he anytime he's depicted as being blue is because it's hinting at that he's the cause of things rather than being caused by something else. So it's very much a symbol rather than anything else. But definitely, Krishna was recorded as being black, and Kali is recorded as being black.
Mm, very interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, 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 yeah. I think it's. I think we can get mixed up in appearances and stuff like that. But I'm kind of like I'm leaning on the side where appearances do matter because I live in a Western, Eurocentric, whatever the case may be. That's pretty cool.
Mhm.
Um, Now that we kind of have a good understanding, because again, a lot of that information you said, you kind of have to repeat yourself. For me, at least, I believe again, as long as my listeners can hear you, then I'm gonna be able to watch this back, and we're gonna get the information we need. But what role, or what before we move on to the next topic, what role is Kali playing in society right now? What phase would you?
So, consciousness and the cycles of creation, they tend to have, well, they always have certain parts. So right now we are in Dwapara Yuga, which means an ascending age, but we're coming out of an age that was very dark and ignorant and very much confined by dogma, but also a delusion or illusion. Right now, we are in Dwapara Yuga, which is ascending, but we have not ascended yet, as far as consciousness, as far as understanding, as far as devotion to all forms of God. Kali is the liberating force, the liberating goddess. She is bringing us to enlightenment, to moksha, to mukti, to liberation. She plays the role of allowing us to see a way home that is not confined by religious dogma, but also not confined by societal dogma. Kali is black. Very One of the reasons why she's displayed as being black is because she is of all colors. She is of all paths, of all traditions. Christianity, as we see it now, is no less a part of Kali. The role that she plays is, at least in a Shakta's understanding, is showing the path to liberation, and that takes many forms. but I would say overall her role is liberation oriented. Um, and anybody in the chat who wants to let me know if y'all got all of that or if it was choppy or anything. And nobody's saying nothing.
I'm still here.
Okay, cool. You got me.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Okay,
the first time your mouth. Yeah, right.
correct. Yeah. And somebody in the chat just said, I heard all what you said. So they heard all of what I said. So it's good. Yeah, it kind of sucks on your end because you only hear like 20% of what I say. But yeah, I guess we just keep on marching forward. Yeah, I can. Yeah, somebody in the chat said they can hear all of what I said. Oh, cutting out a bit. Oh, yeah, cutting out.
Not gonna act like it was FBG Butter fault this time, even though this kind of like really seems like some shit he would do, because he a hater. So with that being said, I'm gonna keep pushing forward. We're coming out of an age of darkness. I feel that, I understand that. I guess my last question in relation to the Kali would be what do we have in your belief system? What do we have to look forward to? I would say within the next decade or even a little longer. What's the next age that we entering?
Huh. So there's different ways of calculating the yugas. Usually yugas are factored in at like 250 million years, but that's on the long end. I'm one of the kinds of Hindu that believes that yugas are much shorter. That it's actually up to at the long end maybe 3,000 years. At the low end maybe 500 years. Uh, what we have to look forward to in the next couple hundred years is an understanding of the gods and different faces for the one god, but and God in scientific terms. Science is going to actually be start to be able to prove some of these things and understand it in a scientific way. But also, we're going to see a lot of cultures come together. We're going to see a lot of cultures cooperate, and we're going to see a lot of the ideas that came out of European colonialism completely dismantled, and we're going to be getting closer to nature as well. And we're going to be able to respect one another in ways that
Ooh,
um, respect one another in ways that skin color or religion or ethnicity or culture might have confined us in the past. But we're still ascending. We're not there yet. So it might take 100 years. It might take 200 years. It might take 300 years. But we're going to get to a point where all the things that divided us in the past are no longer an issue. And I think Kali helps that, but that's just my bias. But Kali is black, so all colors, right? But yeah, so we have to look forward to just different degrees of enlightenment, really, of liberation. I think even though there's a trend right now where it seems like things are getting worse, it always seems like things are getting worse until decades later when we realize they weren't as bad as the decades before. So I I truly think things are going to get it better. It just seems like they're getting worse now, but we're going to have these hiccups along the way. And I feel like we're in a hiccup right now. But that's just my view of the matter.
Right, right. Um,
And we don't have to stay on the topic of
right. I
Kali,
was
by
just
the
gonna
way.
say your feedback kind of.
Oh, okay. No, we don't have to stay on the topic of Kali. We can move on if you want, if you want to. To get
I don't. As long as I kind of stare at the screen, tricks and see what works. But yeah,
Gotcha.
it's pretty cool. I think we are moving. I can definitely agree on that point. We're definitely moving in and out of different ages. It sounds like it kind of sounds like we're going back to the Tower of Babel, where we were all kind of under one accord, you know. But also, I guess what kind of like can get mixed in with it is kind of like a new world order type of thing. This yeah, that'll be my final point with the Kali thing. What is do you believe in the new world order, and if so, what is your practice teach about the new world order, or is it just kind of what you just said?
So I think that the reason why it might seem like we have a new world order is because it's the dying of the world order, or the order where um, of limitation. It might seem like there's a new world order. I think that there's beings and there's people that are trying to establish a new world order. I do not think that they will be successful. For Shaktas in general, or Hindus, it's not really a part of Hinduism in that way, but it very much is a part of the different cycles of consciousness that consciousness takes. And once again, we're coming out of an age of darkness, and we have a lot to look forward to. But I don't think that anything that considers itself a new world order or is trying to establish that is going to succeed. It's just kind of like the dying breath of a lot of ignorance and hate and control from authority figures. I think that that'll break down in the coming decades and the coming centuries. That What authority figures are trying to push on the rest of us.
Right, right, and especially if we're coming out of an age of darkness, is you're gonna have all those residual effects, kind of like
Hmm.
lingering or like
Yep.
stuff that we got to get out of. So that's pretty cool.
Uh,
That's pretty. I dig that. Move into the next topic. Who and what is Bigfoot?
I like this one because I've done some videos on this in the past. So Bigfoot is so this is just my opinion. This is not a Shakta's opinion. This is not a Hindu opinion. This is just my personal opinion. So Bigfoot, I feel like is so evolution is physical evolution is accepted in Hinduism for most Hindus. It's not a problem for us. But I feel like Bigfoot is from a former evolutionary step before we became human beings that still has its connection to the earth, still has its connection to various dimensions, because that in the past we had that before the age of darkness. And I feel like Bigfoot is just us from the past, and you'll see a trend as we go through these topics. But it's from a previous evolutionary point that we hit that is coming in and out of various time cycles, because it doesn't understand that it can't do that. It doesn't have the same understanding of time, and it has an understanding of interdimensionality in different dimensions, like we had in the past and like we'll get to again. But I feel like Bigfoot is just us from the past, kind of coming in and out of our current timeline in reality. If that, I don't know if any of that makes sense, but hopefully it does. Did you get all that?
Yeah, 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 yeah. I would the only pushback would be I ain't no damn monkey is what I would say, you know. But you know that's pretty. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty interesting. So that's the because I had two parts to that question. But kind of like what I think about. You know, we're going full solo mode. Fuck it, we're going full solo mode because the fucking mask ain't working. The shit still all finicky and shit. So fuck it, I'm just going full solo mode. Fuck it. So for me, you know, I haven't heard at a personal experience.
Uh oh.
I think
Uh oh.
it's the beings that were here before Adam.
Hmm.
That's how I look at that.
I've heard that before. So I'm not going to say it's like it makes sense from a Christian perspective. I'll put it that way. It makes sense from a Christian perspective. But you know, in Hinduism, there's also kind of the first man. The first man was the first one to die, which became kind of the god of dharma and death, Yama. So there were things here before human beings were. We weren't the first ones to come here. So I can see how that would make sense. I don't necessarily believe it, but I can see how that makes sense. And you're frozen a bit. Oh wait, a little choppy. And we're chopping in and out.
Well, as long as at least you heard it that time, bro, because you.
Right?
Yo, all right, you can hear me now.
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, that's the first time I seen you on key, in a while. Um, yeah, as long as my chat heard you, bro, I'm gonna just act like I heard you. Children of the.
Chopped out there for a bit. Still chopped out. And we're back. Oop, chopped again. Sorry to ask this in the chat, but are y'all hearing me and seeing me okay? Just let me
Can you
know
hear
if
me?
you are. Now I can hear you. Now I'm seeing you. Gotcha.
Dreadlock A said, "I heard all of what you said." Yeah.
Uh,
Then dude said, Stephen Kluge said, I heard said great take. So they hearing you just fine. It's just me. That's he said, yeah, your connection good. Um, so it's just me that's just like having a hard time. Like right now, I'm seeing you blink and shit and stuff and cool. You know, maybe I should move the phone closer to me. Maybe that'll help me. Hold on, let me try this. Let me try this. Let me try this
we'll get it
because it's
worked
making me
out.
sad, and I don't want to be. I don't want to be sad, man.
I
I
feel
don't
you.
want to be sad. Yeah, I don't want to be sad. No, not today. I don't want to be sad. Not today. No, not today. Solar, yeah, shaman man. Chat is good. Ah, okay. So shit, chat here. You just fine. Um, I'm gonna leave that candle right here. Um, I seen maybe I'm gonna have some more luck right here. Can you hear me?
I can hear and see you really well now.
Okay. Well, maybe it was all my fault. Maybe it wasn't FVG but
Right.
I don't know. I kind of want to start all this fucking conversation over, bro, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm a pretend like everything was well, and I'm going to just go from where we at. So, my question to you was, where is Bigfoot right the fuck now if I wanted to go find him?
So, I feel like Bigfoot isn't just one thing. I feel like it is
Oh,
various like
he drinking blood.
hey man, every day that ends in Y. But no, yeah, so Bigfoot is a number of beings that are classified as a singular being. If you want to find Bigfoot,
Mm.
honestly, I would go deep into the forest and I would start playing an instrument. Whatever instrument you want to play, and I would start closing my eyes, and then in your head, picture what Bigfoot looks like, and keep on playing your instrument. Keep your eyes closed, and you may see something. That's my best advice if you want to find Bigfoot. It's also a really bad advice if you don't want to like get run up on or mugged or something like that. But I would say go into the forest, play an instrument, and visualize Bigfoot within your mind, and you might get lucky. I wouldn't say that you need to go to a particular place, but if I was going to guess a particular place, I would say Yellowstone National Park, or somewhere in Canada. Somebody said, "Where can I find skinwalkers?" You got to go further south. For skinwalkers, so skinwalkers is. I have a whole nother theory on skinwalkers.
Hold
Um,
on, we gonna get there. Hold on. I gotta go at my pace, dog. So I appreciate you saying that. So with the Bigfoot shit, you said something that's interesting to me. You said play an instrument and visualize what it looked like, and then you're gonna see something. So are you saying that kind of like Bigfoot exists in between dimensions or some shit? Like, why would I have to visualize what it looked like? Why can't I just go in the forest and then find like a nest or like a cave or something?
So usually the take that people have is that it's like a physical thing that you'll have to go find. I think that that is more rare. So when I say visualize Bigfoot, you're tapping into a reality that it understands by picturing it and playing an instrument. Music has a natural way to kind of merge dimensions. It doesn't work all of the time, but it works some of the time. But I don't think that you can find a particular place where you'll find a cave where you find Bigfoot droppings or something like that, unless you're going really, really deep into the forest in the Yellowstone National Park, or you're in a forest in Russia, somewhere like that. Bigfoot sightings, I think, are in the northern hemisphere overall. So you might have more luck there. But as far as a particular place, I have no idea, to be honest. But I think that visualizing him in your mind while you play music will help you at least find something. But I'm not sure if that something will be something that you want to find. But that's the best advice I can give.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Would you be down to do that? Would you be down to do that with Solar Man?
I'd do that. I'd do that. I'd be willing to do that, and I there's other spiritual like techniques that we could use to find this thing, but I mean, it'll just be me going into different shamanistic techniques if we go down that rabbit hole. But and it won't be as interesting. But there are techniques to do that, and I would be willing to do that for sure.
Worst case scenario and best case scenario at the same time, because it's both. We see exactly what the fuck we looking for. What you gonna do about that?
What am I gonna do about it as far as like summoning
Yeah,
Bigfoot?
what you gonna do about it? No.
Oh
What you
man,
gonna do when you get what you asked for? What you gonna do about it?
so first of all, I would not try to harm the being, the harm the big feet, the Bigfoot. I say big feet because I don't think it's just one thing, but I have various protective jewelry that I have imbued with magical power through shamanism. I also have techniques for not allowing negative entities to enter one space. You can create a circle of seashells. You can create a circle like that around you. You can also imbue black salt into those seashells and make a circle around you. You can also blow chasing powder into the face of a Bigfoot if it really wants to mess with you. And chasing powder, it kind of like adds effect to spells, but it can also really mess up any kind of being that's coming at you. Now, would a gun work? I might shoot a Bigfoot if it was running at me, and it might work. But I'm not super sure that it will, based on stories, because apparently throughout time, people have shot a Bigfoot and it has not stopped a Bigfoot. So I don't know if I'd use that tactic, but yeah, I have certain methods for sure.
Right. I asked that question and because I've considered going Bigfoot watching and all that, but then at the same time it's kind of like one of them things like do you really want to see what you think that you want to see, and then when you see it, what you gonna do about it when you see it, and and I have also through my research I've also learned that a bullet, a 22 gauge, even a shotgun don't really do nothing, maybe to a baby or something like that. But like you said, though, there's many different subspecies of this creature. It's not just kind of like one thing. So it's like, man, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like it's just be one of them things where you just gotta like go find out for yourself. Um, but that would kind of be like going against like everything, you know.
It's
That's
not a
kind of
good
like
survival tactic.
ghost.
Yeah, like
No, not at all.
fucking around and finding out is not the best way to go.
Yeah. It's kind of like skydiving without a parachute.
Right.
That's kind of like how I look at that. You know, but hey, that's pretty cool. Now we let's talk about skinwalkers and shit. What the heck is a skinwalker? I mean, that wasn't one of the topics that you sent me, but it sounded like you know something about it. What the heck is a skinwalker? I'm walking with skin. I'm a skinwalker. What the fuck?
So I got a couple theories on skinwalkers. So one of them is that it's basically a demonic entity that that either became demonic from a human being to demonic by doing the negative side of shamanism, by becoming something that's destructive, that divides, that hurts things, becoming so animalistic that you're able to take on the skin of different animals and then um, becoming that animal in essence. But and my other theory is that it is a being, it's basically an alien being that comes from a different dimension, once again, or from a different place that has come here to hunt, that has come here to hunt us, to basically take on whatever skin that effectuates its hunting, and then basically just slaughter people and things. But yeah, so I think that whatever it is negative, but I would say that it is either a human being who has practiced very dark magic and become this thing, or it's kind of an alien from somewhere else that has come here just for pure blood sports and for pure just feeding on things.
Damn, that last one was suck. But hey, have you if you familiar with Haitian culture, they call this thing lugao, lugao, something like that, something to that effect. And essentially, what it is basically like either a witch or a warlock, and they can change form. Usually, they come in the forms of like cats and stuff like that. And then like Haitian culture, they really don't fuck with cats and animals at night. Like if you're out walking in Haiti at night and you run into a cat or a cow or any type of animal, you're kind of like fuck. Like you ever heard of something like that?
Yeah, so I've been kind of active in the Vodou community. And Vodou, if you say Vodou and not Voodoo, then usually it's tied to Haitian, because in Haiti they call it Vodou. So if somebody calls it Vodun, that is a very white European way to say it, and usually not the best source of information if anybody is curious. But so yeah, a Bokor, a Haungan is a priest or priestess that is on the positive side of Vodou. A Bokor is on the negative side of Vodou. And it basically a Bokor has acquired this ability to change their flesh, to change their form, but they must feed on human blood. I'm not a Bokor, by the way, but they must feed on human blood, and then and they can take various forms. But if they don't feed on human blood, or if they don't kill things, then they will be perpetually fleshless. They will be perpetually skinned. So they have to, in order to in order to have skin, in order to be something that isn't in constant pain, they have to cause pain and then wear the flesh of what they've caused pain to. But that is very much on the left hand side of voodoo. Some bokors become that, and I've talked to people who have said that they've seen somebody become a snake or or become, well, the only person I've talked to who said he's trusted, but he's talked about somebody becoming a snake and he saw it like with his physical eyes. And that's not super necessary on the right hand side of voodoo. So it's usually on the left hand side, or it's a spirit. So a spirit can also take various forms, but that is kind of like a different line of reasoning. It might just be a spirit, a loa, that is associated with snakes becomes a snake, or associated with dogs becomes a dog, and kind of tramples around our dimension. But you'll find in spiritual systems that come out of Africa, there's this huge understanding of different dimensions and the connection between dimensions and the various beings that go between dimensions. But yeah, that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Man, this it's going way smoother now as far as on my end. I can hear you and stuff now. I mean, it's still choppy and stuff, but man, you don't understand. I mean, we're an hour into it, and I've only got like 20 minutes worth of information. What
Oh
the
shit.
fuck? But hey, man, it's pretty cool, you know. But yeah, if I ever saw somebody turn into a snake or a dog or a cat in front of me, I would feel like my creator doesn't love me anymore, or I just wouldn't understand, what's going on with life. That's kind of like interesting for me.
Yeah.
um
And just one more thing, in Vodou, the creator, or the oversoul, or the basically the top of the hierarchy as far as like God, is Bondier. So Bondier is God in Vodou, but it's just another name for, in my understanding, it's just another name for God. But it's Bondier, which comes straight from Africa. That's not something that was taken up by any other traditions that melded to make Vodou.
Ooh, you know a lot about African tradition, and voodoo is a Western African type of thing. So that's pretty interesting. That's pretty cool. Before we move on to the next cryptid, oh, just so y'all know, just to re-summarize what we talked about, guys. I'm doing this for myself. I'm keeping up. So just to summarize what we talked about. We talked about Krishna. No, we didn't talk about Krishna. Who we talk about?
Kali, Krishna, Hinduism, but then we
Kali.
talked about different ages, different cycles of consciousness. Then we talked about Bigfoot, and then we talked about skinwalkers so far.
Yes,
And then
skinwalkers
voodoo. And then we talked about voodoo.
and voodoo. I feel like I haven't heard it pronounced like voodoo, so this is an interesting conversation. And then somebody would like to know, just to make sure, guys, before we keep on going, how are we sounding? Are we sounding good? We looking good? Y'all looking good? I appreciate y'all being here. Y'all in the right place. We are the biggest, by the way. Make sure y'all like, comment, share, subscribe, because we don't do nothing but kick facts over here, and we give y'all what y'all need. So I appreciate y'all being here on this Sunday when y'all could be everywhere else. It's all good. Cool, cool, cool. What the fuck is a Thunderbird? I don't know what a fucking Thunderbird is. What is a Thunderbird? You know what a Thunderbird is?
Um, so the only thing that I know of as being a
Ooh.
Thunderbird is from Aztec. It's an Aztec kind of flying spirit. I've never seen one. That's what he asked. Like I've never seen one, but in Aztec kind of traditions, you'll find that a thunderbird is either like some kind of spirit that can fly, or it is a god. But I don't know which Aztec god. I don't know that much about Aztec culture, to be honest. But a thunderbird, I've never seen one. I think that they probably do exist though.
Hey, Phaser, I'll through a Phaser. You want to tap in? Next month we talking to somebody who is an expert on the shit like that. He thinks those deities, or those things, Thunderbirds and shit like that specifically, are Nephilim, and he's kind of like an expert on that shit. That's gonna be a cool conversation. So I'll save that for him. This gentleman right here, though, he specifically, we're talking about the dog man, Mothman, Bigfoot, and shit like that there. So now that we talked about Bigfoot, and you know, I'm kind of pissed again that my connection was so fucking choppy in the beginning because I love Bigfoot. Like, you don't understand. I listened to hours and hours and hours and hours and lectures of Bigfoot and what the fuck it is and where it is and stuff like that. Um, I'm still kind of like curious as to how you can see one. I liked what you said though, as far as like we're gonna go to the other topics too, but just for my own personal interest, I like what you said as far as like going into the woods and like playing some music and shit, like because so for example, the stories that I heard about Bigfoot are that type of creature is that, you know, it can kind of like come in and out of like dimensions. That's why like you'll see it and then like one moment you won't see it, you know, or like, you know, you'll see it and then like they'll get out of sight and perception, and then, you know, it's because like they can phase in and out of realms and realities. Is that just to kind of like re gloss over what you said, is that kind of like what you know about it?
Yes. So you were right on the money. I once again, I believe that it's us from the past, millions and millions and millions of years ago, phasing in and out of reality. Our Because time doesn't really exist, and it's kind of a human construct. But we were closer to the Earth at some points, and we're closer to different dimensions at one point. And so, yeah, I what you said was correct. And then somebody did ask, "Is Mothman real?" I would say I think that Mothman is real, but we can go into that if you so choose, Solarman.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. You know, I appreciate you saying that. You know, I'm not the smartest, so I kind of gotta like I gotta break shit down to a point of understanding. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think all these beings, honestly, that we're talking about, I think they all kind of like come from this time where we, us Homo sapiens, were not around, or at least weren't. This version of Homo sapiens weren't conscious to kind of like be aware of. You know, so it's like kind of like we thinking that we're like, you know, that, you know, we're the best that it gets, when really like there's nothing new under the sun. And the reason like this shit is like conspiracy and shit to us is because like we just, it's literally just that, is because the powers that be kind of like are protecting us from some shit. What do you think about that? You think we being protected from some shit?
I think that authorities and governments around the world know what they don't know, and know that there's things that they don't control, and that they're stopping us from learning about them because they don't want us to realize that they don't have control of the situation. Governments want to project control, and knowing about these various beings but not being able to do anything about them shows that how weak they are, and they don't want to seem weak. So I think that governments and authority figures don't want to seem weak, and I don't think that they're protecting us. I think that in fact, if they released everything that they know, we'd realize how much they can't protect us. So yeah, I think that they hide that information because it scares them. To be honest.
Going off that real quick, because that just brought up another question in my head. um I would have to assume that these entities can't be all that bad then, because why don't they just take us over then? You know what I mean? Like if they're so much more like physically and spiritually in tune and powerful, they must have a different understanding that we really don't know. Or they are fucking demonic or evil or whatever the case may be, and they exist where they exist and they're good existing where they exist, and they, you know, like because I believe a couple different things, bro. This is what I believe. I believe that this is what I truly believe. I believe that they exist right now, but they exist like you and I just said, that they kind of exist in between realities. But then I also believe that they exist kind of like on the other side of the ice wall and shit. And then I kind of also believe that they exist like underground and shit. You know, like in underground networks and shit like that. So I guess my simple question, or two questions: one, do you believe what the fuck I just said? And then two, they must be good guys or something then, because why don't they just kill us?
So I I think that we have a very human understanding of the benefits of authority and control. A gang doesn't necessarily want to control a nation, doesn't necessarily want to be the government, because by the government's own like imbalance and lack of competence, there's way more to be gained. So I think that for a lot of these beings, they're they're predators in the jungle rather than they are anybody who tries to run the jungle, because they can feed as much as they want without controlling things. But if they control things, then they would be a target for some kind of revolution or resistance. They don't want to be the target of resistance or revolution, and they see that we're so weak that it's almost like they don't even need to plant crops. They just need to go into the forest and pick mushrooms. In the sense that this is an analogy. So, in the sense that they just need to take what is already there rather than cultivating something that they could take more from, if that makes any sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah, break that down for me though. So like, what's already there for them then? Like, how are they eating? If you know what I'm saying, like, how they eating like now? Like, break that down.
They can easily prey on humans. I mean, there's many beings that can easily prey on humans without needing to control anything. So a cow, which is like in this instance, negative entities or the cow. It can eat all the grass. If it can eat all the grass that it wants, why would it walk into a cage and start eating grass? It can eat as much as it wants, being free, rather than being in a confined authority or confined space. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, piggybacking off of that before I make my next point, which I just forgot it that fucking quick, so I guess it don't matter. But piggybacking off of that, real quick, how are they eating right now? Like, do you think it's a that's what I was gonna say. Do you think it's a bunch of how are they eating right now? And then two, do you think it's a bunch of undocumented cases of motherfuckers getting like ate and kidnapped and shit by mothmans and dogmans and shit like that there?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of undocumented cases, or I think that the documentation is hidden from the populace. How are they eating? I
Yeah.
mean, most people are spiritually unprotected to the nth degree. Like most people have no spiritual protection whatsoever. So if you don't have any kind of spiritual protection, then if you're basically a colonized if you're a colonizer Christian that doesn't know anything about magic, doesn't know anything about spiritual traditions, doesn't know anything about spiritual techniques, then you're literally just walking around blind. Like you have no protection and you can be assailed at any time by any of these beings. The good thing is that there's other beings that keep most of them out, that keep and these beings that protect us, they don't want glory, they don't want fame, they don't want to control. They're just naturally protectors, almost like a sheep herding dog will naturally herd sheep, just out of its nature. There's many angelic beings that just protect us. They're not doing it for anything. But at the same time, I think that most people could really benefit from some basic understanding about spiritual protection, that you might get from a number of spiritual traditions, or shamanism, or even basic Hinduism. There's a mantra that you sing to Kali that protects every single part of yourself from intrusion or from negative beings. For instance, there's a mantra that is easy to look up. But yeah, so it's people are very vulnerable, and most people don't realize it. And I think that there's also beings that protect us.
So I like that. But I guess the answer I was looking for was yeah, bro. They kidnap about 100 people every 3 months, and they drag them to their lairs, and then they eat their flesh and
Oh,
stuff like
easy,
that.
for sure, for sure. I think that does something like that does happen on a regular basis.
Fuck, bro. Where, bro? I mean, I live in
Everywhere,
I live
everywhere.
in Dallas, Texas, bro. I live in Cincinnati, Ohio. We live in Los Angeles, Detroit. Where the fuck is that happening at in our neighborhoods, bro? We don't see or is it listen, is it these missing kids and shit? Or is that kind of like part of it?
So uh so yeah, there's a lot of missing children that these beings have taken. But I don't think we should jump to that.
Ah!
I don't think that we should jump to like that being the cause immediately. I think we should keep on looking for them. Keep on looking for them so that just in case that they're found.
Ah!
But I will tell you that I don't so I know that different areas of the earth that are very spiritually protected and areas that are not at all. We can get into that. So I'll give you an example. So in Russia, people have found the just like tens of thousands of these holes that are about 2 feet, 3 feet, 4 feet wide, that seem to go on forever into the earth. And there's all this negative stuff that happens around these holes. But for some reason in Russia, there's tens of thousands of them, and they seem to, but nobody knows what makes them. So I would say there's many areas of Russia where this shit is happening. I don't know why Russia specifically, but it seems to be in Russia, and Russia's a big fucking place. It's like the biggest as far as landmass. It's the biggest place on Earth. Um, Now there's certain areas that are very much protected. So there's certain areas of India that have had so much spiritual activity, positive spiritual activity, that you can't fuck with those areas, no matter what you do. Um, Now, as far as my understanding about North America, it's mixed. I would say that in Texas, it's very mixed, but I would say if there was any place in the United States that is very protected, I would probably say it would be states that are closer to Canada, in the sense that they're much more cleaner environmentally. Because if you fuck with the environment enough, these negative beings can just come into reality. Like if you are so out of balance with nature that you allow your balance with nature to go towards the negative to the nth degree, then nature is going to allow things to come into this realm, because it's going to protect itself just by its natural biological and also conscious effort to get rid of human beings. Because we honestly, in a way, we're kind of a pest on the earth. And if we fuck with the earth enough and mess with the earth enough, like we have in the last 200 years, then the earth is going to has mechanisms to get rid of people where it needs to get rid of people. If that
Come
makes
on,
any sense.
bro. I'm cool, bro. Come on, bro. You know I recycling shit, bro. You know, bro. Come on, bro. You know, bro. Come on, bro. I'm cool, bro. The Earth shouldn't want to get rid of me, bro. Right, bro?
I don't think the earth wants to get rid of you. I think that I feel like there's certain people that are just like very negative in their vibration, allow their vibration to be negative, to where the earth is just like, I'm not going to protect you anymore, like you're done. Like, let's say like a child molester. The earth is not going to provide any protection from a child molester. But here's the thing, the earth is conscious. It has a consciousness. It's a grand consciousness, but it is aware. But if a being hurts other people or allows them to be hurt, there's going to be a big effect. Like, for instance, in most European countries, the birth rate is very low and the suicide rate is very high. This is karma from Europeans colonizing places and not respecting the people of these places. There's a reason why I fight against Christianity, but I fight specifically against European Christianity, because I understand that the toll that Europeans have taken on the earth, and the earth
Right on,
itself.
brother. Right on, brother.
Right. But I think that Europeans were completely fine during shamanistic ages. But I think that medieval time and Enlightenment time, colony time, that's when Europe got very dark. And I feel like there's a karmic debt that Europe has to pay, that it will pay. And I still feel like that America is in the same boat. Um,
Definitely, bro.
yeah.
Fucking definitely, bro.
Yeah, and because all of our well, this is an example, but all of our national monuments in Washington D.C. were built by slave labor. Like that is wild. And also, why have an obelisk from Egyptian time? Anyway, but that's a whole other topic.
Yeah,
But
it's a big no bromo, it's a big penis, bro. Did you know
yeah,
that?
kind of, yeah, kind of, yeah.
Yeah,
uh,
bro.
I think that there were some rituals done underneath the obelisk for sure.
Definitely.
As well, yeah.
Did you
But
know
yeah,
that there was go ahead.
I think we're on the same page.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, did you know that there was like some ritualistic witchcraft symbols and shit around the Statue of Liberty, entry port of America? Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah. Google
I
this
had no
shit
idea.
after we get off this show. And this show is way better by the fucking way. I don't know what the fuck was going on earlier. I don't
Right.
know. But you know, I don't know what the fuck. But anyways, let's serve the chat a little bit. They want to know about fucking Mothman and shit like that. And before I let you answer, the expert, you know, you drink your blood. You know, go ahead and enjoy your blood, brother. Enjoy your blood, brother. Don't
I
let me stop
will.
you.
I will.
Yeah, don't let me stop you.
I'm
But
empowered.
you know, talking about Mothman and shit. Out of all these cryptids, bro, kind of Mothman sounds the dumbest to me. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like a werewolf, kind of like that shit is stupid too, but it's kind of like more plausible just because like I've seen I haven't seen, but I can imagine like just a beastly humanoid type of creature to that effect. So if I can believe in that, I guess why the fuck can't I believe in a Mothman? But just like a Mothman just sounds like fucking stupid. But when I think about this shit, I think about like I think about my government and their what's the word I'm looking for? Their gene splicing. That's what I be thinking about. You know, I think about gene splicing and how I know for a fact, like right now, we have underground bases where we test out splicing the genes of humans with donkeys, Nephilim. Shit like that.
Oh well,
Kind of
that's
like
in the public eye. There, I mean, like as far as scientists gene splicing things, that's publicly reported.
right.
That's yeah, yeah. It's
And
not
then
even underground.
a lot of people would see, and a lot of people would still think that that shit's kind of like a conspiracy, but it's not. But I guess so. What the fuck is Mothman? And yeah, what the fuck is Mothman?
It isn't. So this is the part where I always talk about different dimensions. So Mothman is an interdimensional observer of human beings. We're so foreign to Mothman. So what people see when they see Mothman is they look up in the sky and they see a man with moth wings, but it's all black except for the eyes. The eyes are red. But you don't have a lot of instances of Mothman actually like taking people or hurting people. It just seems to be an interdimensional observer, especially around Chicago for some reason. I have no idea why Chicago, but it's looking at us because I don't think it understands us. And honestly, if we look at ourselves from a third person perspective, we don't make a lot of sense as far as like our behavior and what we do. Like we we're strange. Human beings are strange, and I think that Mothman is observing us, coming into this dimension to observe us and take us in, as far as like trying to analyze us. Also, I would say before I continue, we can definitely get into aliens as well. I have a lot on that.
Yeah, man, we got to make up for lost time. Like I said, I wasted like an hour of just fucking looking at you and kind of trying to look at you and shit. So it's like, yeah, we got to make up for lost time on that. But so Mothman is an interdimensional observer. Do you believe in the firmament?
No, this is one of the main. The only reason that I picked up that you believe in the firmament is because of certain things that you said as far as like the ice wall. But I don't believe in the firmament. I believe that there's different planets and there's different galaxies and they're all round. So no, I don't believe in the firmament, but I know what it is. I know what it is from flat earthers for sure.
Okay. The reason I say that though is because I say that to say that if it is an interdimensional traveler, I guess you don't have to be from another planet to be interdimensional. But I don't believe like me personally, I don't believe that anything has ever left this world that we can't leave. I don't believe that we can leave this shit. You know, I think we're kind of like stuck in this dome, like the Simpsons. You seen the Simpsons movie, and they got trapped in that dome. You see that?
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. I completely understand the firmament for sure.
For sure. So anyway, so with the Mothman shit, there's a lot of reportings of that shit in Ohio too. So I guess the Midwest is kind of like a hot spot for the shit. I don't know why specifically the Midwest, maybe because it's like the biggest on industrial, kind of like I guess in the early U.S. stages and shit like that. Maybe because we was pouring out the most pollution and shit. Maybe I don't know. Why do you think the Mothman would be before we move on to another cryptid? Why do you think the Mothman will be observing us? Like, what the fuck is there to look at? Like, yeah, you said we weird, but to me, the Mothman is fucking weird. I don't understand him.
Yeah. Yeah, it's from a different place. So it also kind of ties into my idea of what aliens are, where it's like they're just well, I won't get into aliens because that's a whole different. We can get into that eventually. But the Mothman, honestly, like why do children go to the zoo? Why do they go to an aquarium?
Oh yeah, to look at shit that they to look at shit in a safe encumbered environment and to observe the world around them.
Yeah, yeah, that's the same reason I think Mothman. Also, somebody didn't mention is Dogman the same thing as werewolves? I have a whole different thing on Dogman actually, but yeah. So, well, also here's the thing about vampires and werewolves, just really quickly. So vampires are a just in literature, they are a symbol for rape, and then werewolves are a symbol for murder. But I still think that both exist in a certain form, because somebody asked about werewolves. Uh, so I think that in essence, Mothman is comes here almost like it's a zoo, or almost like it's an aquarium, where there's nothing here that can really threaten it, but they're like super curious to see things they haven't seen before. Because in their dimension or their world, it, things aren't the same. Like we human beings are just interesting, so they're just coming to take in information in essence.
Hmm. That makes sense on for that. But you know, I kind of like I resent the I'm just like in the big, and that's why I subscribe to the firmament theory that I'm stuck in this bowl basically because it's like um I'm being I don't know what's going on around me, but I know that there's a whole world that existed before me, but I don't know anything about it. You know,
We're in the
so it's
same
kind of
boat
like,
as far as that goes.
yeah, I kind of like I subscribe that I'm just I don't know where the fuck I'm at, bro, and it pisses me off. You know, but we can kind of come back to that. What the fuck is a dog, man? And what the fuck is a werewolf?
So a werewolf is very similar to a skinwalker, but it is a human being who became so bestial, but also so connected to nature, but the brutality of nature, the brutal side of nature, that it was able to become a larger, ferocious beast. Werewolves much easier. Dogmen, they guard interdimensional portals. So anytime a dogman is seen, it's usually around a portal of some kind, like a an oval shaped portal, or there's a lot of mist that comes through as dogmen appear, and then once this portal opens to other dimensions, they're kind of like the guard dogs in essence. They guard against any kind of human beings getting close to them. And they might view all human beings in that vicinity to be beings that need to be taken out. So they might try to kill you if you're around a portal. This is another reason why, because this is why playing music in the forest with your eyes closed, imagining Bigfoot, might not be the best idea for dogmen, because dogmen also might a portal might open, might very small chance might open, and dogmen may basically flank the portal and try to take out anybody who tries to get close to the portal. They're almost like the vacuum cleaners of the dimensions. They guard against beings going through dimensional portals.
What fucking right do they have to tell me where I can and can't go? This is my planet.
They don't get the it, they are formed by the natural ecosystem of the multidimensional tree. They don't they're not super conscious. They're not hired by somebody. It's almost like asking why a human being would shit. It's just what we do. Like it's not something that anybody orders us to do. It's just what we naturally do. And that's kind of what dogmen is, what are. But I have spoken to one person that has witnessed this, and has problems on her property with dogmen. But anyway, but yeah, me and her both agree that they guard these portals between places.
This person that is experiences is this the vampire lady that robs houses?
I wasn't talking about her, but she also speaks of something similar. But so it wasn't her, but she has similar problems. But basically, they're not dogmen. It's other more violent supernatural creatures that try to get at her, because of what she has done in former lives. But that's a whole nother topic. But yeah, no, it's not only her. yeah, I've gotten some information about dogmen like showing up just randomly, for seemingly randomly, but it's not random.
Let's stay on this topic just for a second. I want to Why do some people see this shit and then why do some other people don't see this shit?
Um, some people don't see it and it kills them. People who see it, they tend to be more sensitive, like myself, but sensitive to different energies. I'm also emotionally sensitive, but like sensitive to different energies. I'm sensitive in
Yeah.
general, but
Me
like
too. Me too, dog.
right. So like, but yeah. So when you're sensitive to different emotions, um, and you're sensitive to different energies, and you're sensitive to different influences, you tend to pick up on things and be able to see what other people cannot, or people are unable to see without certain kinds of spiritual practices. I honestly wish that I wasn't one of those people, um because like we talked about with that demon guy, like I saw him standing in the corner when I bound him. Like I wish I didn't see that. At the same time, I knew what was happening. So people who are very sensitive to these energies, they're also going to have a better understanding. So some people are just more sensitive, in essence, to your question.
Huh. Cause yeah, I mean I'm sensitive too, just like you said, I'm sensitive emotionally, I'm sensitive with energies too. So I guess to follow up on that, how do you know when you feeling energies of like a Bigfoot or a dog man or a cryptid versus vice, just energies of just the general vibe of the world or somebody else or something. Like what would be the take care of dreadlock Ace. I appreciate y'all being here. But yeah, what would be like yeah, how would you differentiate that?
So I'll give you an example of something that I saw with my ex girlfriend, that we used to drink each other's blood. Um,
Y'all heard
so
that, right? Make sure y'all click that.
it's more sips. It's not like drinking, but at the same time, yeah, it's still blood. It's very romantic, actually. But anyway, so we were in a graveyard one time, as we were one to do. I spent a lot of time in graveyards in the night
Just
when
a
I was.
normal day in the graveyard. I heard.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
got you.
just
I'm
yeah,
following.
yeah. I spent a lot of time in graveyards in my 20s. But so my girlfriend was sitting next to a grave, and I looked over and I saw this shadow. It was almost like a rough shadow of a human being, but maybe like 4 foot two, kind of short. But the shadow was going between different gravestones, like teleporting. And in my head, I'm just like I thought it was real, but at the same time, like I'm kind of deadened to energy. So I just like, what do you want? And I just like walk in that direction, and I go to the gravestone that it had paused at, and then blinked out of existence. And it's a child's grave, and I'm just looking at it, and I turn around and I hear my girlfriend talking in a different voice, and also in Spanish, but she's Mexican. She was Mexican, or she is Mexican now, but she's Mexican. So like, the Spanish didn't shock me, but her speaking in somebody else's voice did shock me. So I walk back over to her, and I look down, and she's like, her arms and legs are moving at weird angles and shit, and she's also speaking in somebody else's voice. And I'm just like, I'm weird enough where I'm just like, all right, I'm just gonna make sure she doesn't have a seizure. I'm just gonna watch her until she's done. And so I just watch her until she's done, and then like she like gasps, and then she gets up, and she's like, "What did I say? Like, what happened?" And I'm like, I honestly don't know. I don't speak Spanish. But and then we just kind of continued about our night. But usually, when you pick up on something, it can be very visual, like the shadow, the spirit going between different gravestones. It'd be very visual, or your hair will stand on end, for seemingly no reason. Let's say that nothing was shocking, nothing was. Your body doesn't come with a user's manual, so people don't know how to use their body. But your body will naturally become shocked, or your hair will stand on end for seemingly no external reason when there is threat around you. So, in essence, we weren't created without ways that our body would tell us something is wrong. So, hair standing on end, visual things like the spirit that I said, but also your stomach will tell you things. Your stomach being knotted up for no reason, you might even feel like you need to double over. though perhaps you didn't eat anything bad that day, your stomach will also communicate to you that there's something wrong here. So your stomach, hairs on end, visual cues. Those are the three main ways that people sense um, paranormal.
Let me just comment really quick. You need more black friends. Let me just tell you why. Because if you did, in that specific situation, had I, like, for example, me, had I been around you guys and your girlfriend, you said her body and her arms were moving in interesting ways. Well, I'll tell you right this. Maybe that wouldn't have been real because I wouldn't even been in the graveyard with you in the first place. So I guess that we got to start there. You know what I mean? But to say if I would have saw her arms turning, that would have been my cue to, like, you know what, bro? This is way more than I signed up for. Let me just let you guys handle that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's probably why I don't see certain shit though. That's probably why I don't see
You don't
certain
put
shit.
yourself in
You know,
danger.
I don't put myself in those situations. I do
Yeah.
not. No sir. No
Yeah.
sir. But hey, more power to you. I mean, it makes for really interesting content. So I
Right.
appreciate that you do. You know.
Yeah.
Um, but so those cues are pretty cool. I mean, I've experienced stuff like that, just like hair standing up. But I guess the stuff that I be feeling like I don't attribute it to nothing. Not extraterrestrial, but like supernatural or like cryptid. I kind of like attribute it all to like I said just a second ago, the general vibe of what's going on and shit like that.
I
So
will I will mention one other way that you can tell. So one other way that you can tell that there's something really bad going on is that animals in the area will start going fucking crazy. Like they know something is wrong and they sense it. Um and you'll find that with dogmen, like other like dogs basically will just fucking go nuts. But also they'll go nuts around aliens. So they will just completely go nuts in a way that dogs generally don't, which means that it'll be very extreme. They'll just start freaking out for no reason. But it's just like animals sensing earthquakes. Like they can sense more than us. They just don't think of themselves as an individual. So it feels like they don't have the same sentience, which I feel like a lot of them do. But anyway, this is a side tangent.
no, that was good. So what the fuck is an alien? Cause I got my own opinion on what an alien is, but you tell me what you think an alien is.
So grays specifically, um, gray aliens or ones with big heads, black eyes, very thin bodies. They're just us from the future. So they're us from the future coming back after they've reached various evolutionary stages, coming back to figure out like where they came from and why things are the way that they are in the future. So for this is a weird like connection, but for Hindus, the cycles of everything happens in hundreds of millions of years. So at some and then evolution is also accepted in Hinduism. So at some point in the future, we may be, and this also goes in a Project Blue Book. I don't know if you've heard of that,
I
but
heard of it. No, I don't know anything about it, but I heard the word.
yeah. So us from the future coming back to figure out what happened. But in Project Blue Book, these scientists capture an alien, and the alien tells them that we traveled for tens of thousands of light years to get here. And then the scientist or the interrogator rather, because this thing is in chains. And I've seen these videos actually. I don't know if I can find them again. But says, wait, if you came back in time and you're just us, why did you have to travel for tens of thousands of light years to get here? Doesn't make any
Right.
sense. And then the alien's like, well, to travel through time is to travel in space. The Earth is not at the same place it was when when you were here. The Earth is traveling through space, so we had to basically travel through time and then travel through space in order to reach the Earth itself. But also, you know, one of the things that the alien says is that we base our society on logic and compassion, and we're curious as to what we based it on before.
Making America
And
great again. The fuck you talking about?
right? And then I wish I could. I hope I can find these videos and I can send them to you. They're it's very unlikely that I will, but I'll try. Um, but the alien also says like There's somebody that alive during your time that starts a nuclear war, and we needed to figure out what happened around the time that a nuclear war happened. So because most of human data, most of human information was lost during that nuclear war. That's why we had to come back and figure out like how you were during that time, because we lost most of human information. When you think of all human information, imagine losing 90% of it. That is such a blow to humanity. And you're just left with people that are hiding in bunkers with 10% of the information. So that's in Project Blue Book, the Greys are us having evolved in the future and coming back and trying to figure out what the hell happened.
Hmm. Now, the only pushback I got is that they don't seem like well, I would have to know what the environment looks like to know if it's an advancement or not, but their skin doesn't look like an advancement. Their big stupid ass heads in my opinion don't look like an advancement. You know, that shit kind of looks like this is what I think a gray is. I think I haven't heard that perspective before ever, so that's very interesting. I appreciate you sharing that. Uh what I understood a gray to be is just a reptilian, a form of reptilian, like the slave class of the reptilians, and like they kind of like they do all the groundwork and shit, and they kind of like work in tandem you know, all governments, you know, all major governments and shit, and they're kind of like they've been here since like time immemorial and shit, and they kind of like were here first and shit. But like, yeah, I kind of like I look at them, or they're like the slave class, or like the working class of the reptilioids, or that are in our society, like that movie.
Are you talking
They
about the
Live. You seen that movie?
Anunnaki? Are you talking about the Anunnaki?
Uh, Not necessarily. I'm just because I don't understand the Anunnaki to be reptilians. Um, so not necessarily the Anunnaki, but just literally reptilian human hybrids, or just yeah, reptilian human hybrids that existed before us. Um, you know, I mean, you know, and you see examples of them in kind of like a lot of major cultures and like on hieroglyphs and shit like that. But yeah, that's what I understood Grays to be, like the slave working class. I never heard them to be us in the future though. That's very, 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 very interesting. Have you ever heard something like that though?
So I have heard your perspective. And once again, I'm kind of good at localizing people's perspective based on what they tell me. Like, and if you give me
Mhm.
a little bit of information, I can usually guess the rest. But yeah, so the reason why grays heads are so big is because our brains grew. The reason why their skin complexion is so like gray, like super white, or like combined with like grayish color, because they don't really have the same atmosphere. They've been hiding underground for a very long time. They don't have the same atmosphere, and their heads are big because their heads grew. Their eyes are black because their pupils expanded to take in more information over time as we evolved. But once again, yes, that's as far as the graves. Yeah, somebody said true. I appreciate that. So yeah, I have heard of the idea that human beings, or there were things before human beings that was a working class controlled by reptilian beings that wanted to mine the Earth's resources, like gold, like silver, things like that. And they created these beings in order to do that. But then we came about later and kind of came upon the leavings of what happened. And to your point, there's a gold mine, at least one in Africa, that dates back like 100,000 years, and nobody knows like how we made this gold mine. Like nobody knows exactly the technology that we use, and it seems to be have made by beings that aren't us. So it to your point, that does kind of make sense. At the same time, I don't believe in reptilian beings in the same way that most people posit them. I don't think that there's plenty of evil beings. I just think that the universe is a big place, and in Hinduism, we think we realize that there are billions of galaxies, and there are at least millions of intelligent species in this one universe. Let alone the multi-dimensional way that the all of the dimensions interrelate. But in Hinduism, it has been said for thousands and thousands of years, there are other intelligent life on other planets. And in Hinduism, we've known that the Earth is around for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, or at least we think we've known. Um, one of the reasons that kind of hooked me onto Hinduism is that there's it align. And not only does it align with most scientific information, there is an explanation for almost everything, and it's been there for thousands of years. And I'm like, this is crazy. So that's one of the reasons why I put Shiva into the list of cryptids, is because a lot of people think that Shiva was an alien that came here tens of thousands of years ago. But anyway, I'm going off on a tangent.
No, this is good. This is good. This is good. So, I gotta stay on the reptilian part. So you don't subscribe that our society. You know who David Icke is? Let me just start there. You know who he is?
Yeah, I've heard of him. I don't know a lot about him, but I've heard of him.
Oh, okay, I won't reference him so much then. But anyways, just to give you the gist of what he believes, he theorizes and he believes everything you just said about the grays and stuff. But then also that our society has been working in tandem with these reptilian like beings because they were like the ruling class of like this planet before, currently even still today. But before we got here, and then kind of what happened was that they had to assimilate into culture, and they're kind of like trying to get back to a point of that's what like global warming and shit. I'm glossing over a lot, but like that the gist of it is that's what like global warming and shit is about. Like global warming is like trying to bring about conditions that's like conducive for them to like be on this planet again, where the atmosphere is so thin and shit like that. But basically he's saying like that these beings have learned to frequency bending to where they can they can look like you and I in these fleshly suits, but they're really like they're like lizard people and
Let me
shit.
clarify one thing. Does he also believe that they are the modern Jews?
Does he?
Yes.
I have not heard him say that. I
Okay.
don't know if you watch my content in depth or not, but when you say Jews, I immediately think about the so-called Jewish people that are in Israel right now, that are those Eastern European people that are now in the state of Israel. That's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, yeah. So we have different ideas about Jews, but yeah. So I'm emphasizing. That's why I said modern Jews, rather
Right.
than, because I was respecting your belief. Um,
Right.
but yeah. So because I've heard that in reference to modern Jews being reptilian beings. I've heard that from very very far right uh, influencers. Uh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not I take everything with a grain of salt. But yeah, I would say yeah. He would say so. Not just them though. It would be, and I would subscribe to this if I'm going to go with that theory. I would say that they it's not just them. It would be all kind of like one percenters. And that could be
Leaders,
Asian,
authority,
yeah,
elite.
African, whoever, yeah, and they kind of like and they're not even necessarily that they are specifically 100% reptilian. Like some of them are hybrids, some of them invoke these deity, I mean these beings, through different rituals. So it's like a whole thing. I'm gonna have to send you some shit on that, and you let me know what you think on that.
So, is it possible for just for me? Is it possible? Yes. Is it likely? For me, no. But at the same time, I believe that there are beings that try to influence us that are not from Earth, or they're from Earth from the very far future. So is there probably a reptilian being? There's probably at least one or two, like, going around. I don't I think that human beings are stupid enough that we could create our own elites that oppress us without there being some kind of external intervention. Like, we're stupid enough to do that. Like, on face value, it's like, yeah, I kind of understand what a psychopath or a sociopath is. It doesn't even need to be alien. It doesn't need to be a different being. Like, I understand enough what sociopaths and psychopaths are. So, and I met some of them I met some of them before, and they're not great. They're not great. But could they? Could some of them be reptilian beings that are part of the elite? Definitely possible. I'll say it's definitely possible.
Have you ever seen people with cat eyes before?
Only myself on Wednesdays.
I
I'm
don't
just
know how to
kidding.
take that.
I'm
I
just
would say I
kidding.
don't know how to take that. But
Have I seen you
I'm gonna
look at?
send you.
No, I haven't. I have not. I have not. Not at all.
I have I personally there's this and they all are people of Anglo-Saxon or Caucasian descent, by the way, that I've seen personally myself. I have one
Can I
gentleman
make
that
one
lives on.
point? So
Go
one
ahead.
point is that Anglo-Saxon like narrows down the white people to a very small thing. So Anglos were basically white people in the UK, and then Saxon were people from a part of Germany that's called Saxony. I think that you're talking about more people than just that when we're encompassing all of white people. Because usually when I hear Anglo-Saxon, that's usually a term that Russian people or Chinese people use because that's what's in their propaganda. So that immediately makes me think that that you've gotten their propaganda, which I don't think that you have. But when I hear Anglo-Saxon, Anglo-Saxons don't call themselves that anymore, and the vast majority of white people are not Anglo-Saxon. So, like, where do you get this phrase from?
What are the vast majority of white people then?
I would say, well, the term used to be Caucasian, but honestly, now uh, it just be like you could just literally call them white. Like that's it. Because there's no particular area of the globe where just white people are. And well, you could also call them European. You could say white or European. Anglo-Saxon is a very small grouping of white people, whereas European is all of like that general area.
Right. No, this specific group of people that I was talking about are more relating to people either like Bulgarian, German,
Slavic.
something like that. Yes, Slavic, or Caucasian, actual Caucasian, like those Israelis. You know, but I get what you're saying though. It's kind of like there's a diversity amongst Europeans, and it's not just. I don't mean particularly when I say Anglo-Saxon. I don't mean for all white people. No, I'm talking about specific people. Me personally. Um, but like this gentleman that lives on my street specifically, he's definitely an Anglo-Saxon. I mean, he has German, Slavic roots and stuff like that. And then the video that I saw, this dude, this was on CBS, and they were. This wasn't even about cryptids. It wasn't about nothing. It was about financial. It was about financial shit. And this guy literally had one regular eye like this, and then his other eye was literally green, and it wasn't a contact, and it was a cat eye. It was a
Wait,
slit.
you saw a video of this.
No, no, no. This was live TV. This was live TV. This, I mean, it wasn't like it was live. Like if I showed you the lady that was interviewing this, you know who she is. I mean, she's the CBS main old white lady. And they were just walking down the street. They were like on Wall Street or something. They were talking about the feds or some shit.
So you don't
You
think
know,
that they would catch that? I feel like if they were in charge of shit, they would have like filtered that shit out. Like, why would they not filter it out?
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the thought, right? I mean, and I'm not saying they wouldn't. I'm just saying I don't know any humans that have like cat eyes. You know what I mean? Like that's just weird to me, and it's just interesting to me. You know, I'm gonna have to see. I took a screenshot of it, and that video kind of went viral. So I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about when I get off this. I'm on Damn, I'm on 3%. We probably got like 10 more minutes. This is a good conversation though. Before we get out of here, I want to make sure we covered all our topics. We talked about the dog man, we talked about werewolves, we talked about Bigfoot, we talked about Hinduism, we talked about aliens, we talked about the kind of the times that we're living in. A couple more points that we want to make. Let's go ahead and entertain some people in the chat. They want to know who and what are the archons. Do you know? I never heard of that before.
so the Archons are blue-skinned alien beings that come from somewhere else that influence our society. So it's very similar to how reptilian beings are viewed, but you have two camps of thought on the Archons. One is that they're here to enlighten us, and one is that they're here to oppress us. In essence, they are like blue skinned alien beings, as far as I know. Um, are they Are they any of the above as far as like if they're trying to influence us anyway? I have no idea. So you'll have a lot of spiritual influencers who say that the archons are here to enlighten us and to bring us into the way of light and the way of being. At the same time, uh, like it's so out there. Like I have no idea to be if I can confirm or deny. I have no idea the nature of the archons. Like all I can say is that I've definitely seen them mentioned, and I've seen different two different camps on what they are and why they're here.
Hmm. That's man, you smart. Huh,
I'm not that smart.
I'm blowing out candles and shit. Oh man, this means something. Yeah, no, I didn't. I think I heard about what the heck that is, but I wasn't really sure. Just so we understand, while I got 2% battery left, uh,
You're always
uh,
low on battery,
do
bro.
you know what the fuck Tama Tamahu is?
That sounds like a Sumerian being. It's not Tiamat, but it sounds like a Sumerian god of some kind. And Marduk, by the way, Marduk, which is basically the Jesus for the Sumerians, he was said to have slain Tiamat and all the chaotic forces. But people who worship Cthulhu and worship the old ones, they tend to worship those beings of chaos. But that's a whole other line of reasoning. It's Tamahu very much sounds like one of those chaotic beings that chaotic gods that the Sumerians reviled.
Yeah, this is good. While I still got some battery left, I appreciate your time and you being here and being an expert in this conversation. Can you let us know where we can find you at and how we can get in contact? We got to run back part 2 on this, man. This was dope.
Yeah, we got plenty of material to go through. But yeah, so you can find me on YouTube at Hunter Salazar, Hunter space Salazar. If you subscribe or comment, I will see your comment and I will appreciate your subscription. If you want to contact me on Facebook, just type in Hunter Salazar. I think it's facebook.com/hunter.salazar. And you're more than welcome to message me on Facebook. And you can find me on Instagram in two places, Prime Eye Photographer, I as in EYE photographer, and then you can also find me on Veve Masta on Instagram, which is VEVEMASTA. But if you want to contact me, anybody who wants to is more than welcome to, and I'm willing to converse with you and maybe even work with you, depending on
Hey,
how
that's
that
dope,
goes.
man. I'm on 1%. I appreciate you, brother. I'm going to tap back in with you.
All right, man. See you later.
Oh, I appreciate you guys being here. Ha 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 ha. I'll see you later, guys.